There's no doubt in my mind watching Arsenal yesterday and watching the nature of the fan support. Arteta's got them at it. I'm not always in his camp for the Jack in the Box stuff, but he's got the unity there. This is a lot to do with Arteta, the noise in that stadium. So what I came away thinking was, I begin to think there's, in my mind, despite thinking Arsenal could do this, I don't think they will, and I think they might even get pipped by Man United for second spots. But what I saw was a side that's inevitably going to win the Premier League in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Because they're a good side, they're a good unit, they're a good coached, well-managed team. Some strange decisions. I thought it was strange putting Tomiyasu in front of Ben White. I know there's an argument saying Ben White hasn't been as good as he has been at the beginning of the season, but he looked like a rabbit in the headlights for the first 20 minutes of the first half.
Yeah.
So all things being equal, you know, you look at Arsenal, and I've always had this relationship with Arsenal over the years, going back to my sort of engagements with David Dean, where I had a certain view of the football club. I respect it. And you've got this attitude of the prawn sandwich brigade and the library. It ain't that. This is a fully engaged football club with a fully engaged set of players.
You're right, Simon. I witnessed an extremely passionate scene last night. The supporters were phenomenal. On both sides, I have to say. There's a decent, sizable travelling support for City. We're going to take a few calls in a moment, more than a few. There's a lot of you trying to call in this morning. We're glad about that. Thank you. Jack, Arsenal bottled it. 8 points clear a few weeks ago. Just say it. You would say it if it was Tottenham, Simon, so what's different? Come on, Simon Jordan. They bottled it. Just say it, says Jack.
But I've never said Spurs have bottled anything. I've said they've not been good enough at moments when they could have won the Champions League or won the Premier League. I don't think Arsenal bottled it. I think just ultimately they're a young side that will ultimately get to an outcome of winning the Premier League. I don't think it comes down to bottling. I'm quite happy to give Arsenal stick. I'm quite happy to give Arsenal stick all day if it gives me an opportunity to do so, only when it's fair.
And there's Ryan. Ryan, sorry, you're off the mark with this as well. Why don't those Manchester City players, Jim, you spoke to, just rub our bellies while they're at it? Unbelievably patronising. No, absolutely not. Bernardo Silva wanted to make a point and wanted to praise this young Arsenal side who have got a real hunger and desire about them. So too Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think it was patronising in the slightest.
I don't think it was patronising, but can you imagine in a different life, close your eyes, and that was Roy Keane listening to that at Manchester United and Arsenal. He'd have been like, I beg your pardon, I'd rather be in the Roy Keane camp. Be like Roy.
I mean,
the Arsenal, in this day and age of football, the Arsenal players would probably be quite appreciative of it. Sod appreciation. You've just been beaten by your major rivals. They'd probably be quite happy and feel that actually they'd like to get one of the shirts of the people that were actually praising them. That's not what you want. You want the guys to be do well. We don't need your praise, thank you.
So did the occasion get to this Arsenal side again? So many Arsenal fans want to come on, and we love that. Richard, we'll kick off with you. Good morning. Were you there last night, Richard?
I wasn't there, no, but I was watching online on TV. Sorry. Personally, I never expected Arsenal to win the league, and I know there's probably a lot of people out there laughing and saying, yeah, that's what every Arsenal fan's saying, but it's really not the case. Didn't expect us to win the league, didn't expect us to kind of be anywhere near where we are. If anything, I expect us to be at least 10 points away from where we are. Beginning of this season, I would have just been more than happy to see us back playing Champions League football next season. I mean, it looks like we're going to smash that where we're going at the minute, and to play the way we did against the City side that are as strong and I know they're not as strong this season as what they've currently been, but are as dominant as what they are with the quality that those guys have on that pitch. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So, Richard, you're quite happy that this is a work in progress, if you like.
Oh, 100%. 100% I'm happy it's a work in progress. Like I said, I didn't expect us to be where we are.
Yeah.
And like I say, poor error, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, these things, like I say, they're a work in progress. Arteta's going to get them boys in that training camp today, and he's going to be snapping them moves out of them. 100%, it's just time. Tomiyasu, bad pass back. There's only players like Kevin De Bruyne can put that ball in that net from that position. I don't care what anyone says. He is something special.
He is indeed.
Now,
well said, Richard. Well said. We're going to move on, mate. So many people coming to air. Tom's another Arsenal fan. Tom, good morning. Do you echo what Richard was saying? That look, we've got to come to terms with the fact, from an Arsenal perspective, this is a work in progress.
Thanks for taking my call, first of all. I do agree with Richard. But one thing is, as I mentioned to your colleague on the phone before I came on, what I'm frustrated about is, guys, we're still in it. We've got a game in hand.
Yes.
We've got a game in hand.
Yeah.
I'm really a bit frustrated with a lot of these Arsenal fans who are reverting back to the defeatist attitude. Throwing the towel in. It's only the start of the year. Okay. We've got loads of games ahead of us. We've had a blip. We've had such a great record up until this point in time, and we're playing arguably one of the best teams in the world, let's say, right? Man City, with all of the, kind of financial input, etc.
Yeah.
Right?
Their
bench is far more experienced, superior on paper than Arsenal's are, but we still went toe-to-toe, and okay, we made a few sloppy mistakes. But we need to learn from this, and this will be a great learning curve for this young side.
Tom, you probably heard there moments ago Bernardo Silva speaking to me last night, and De Bruyne, who was fantastic on the pitch. But they made a point of praising this young Arsenal side. I don't think that in the slightest is out of kilter as to what they should be doing. I think it's a feather in Arsenal's cap that these guys who have been there and done it say, look, they're not far behind us. I really do you?
Oh, 100%. It's a respect. They're respecting their peers, right? They're respecting the challenge that actually Arsenal are putting down. If you said to people at the start of the season, Arsenal would be top of the league last weekend, right? People would have laughed you off.
Yeah. I agree.
It shows that they're maturing as a unit, and they're maturing with Arteta's viewpoint and his approach to things. I think it's a big element of respect, and I actually respect the Man City players for saying that.
Tom, before you go, Simon and I were talking just outside the studio before we came on air. Kevin De Bruyne at the end, substitute, you'd probably see it. He took the long walk round, as he has to do, to get back to the technical area. And a few plastic bottles hurled at him. It's something that we see, unfortunately, on a semi-regular basis. Did it disappoint you?
It's not good enough. We're better than that. We are better than that. What is the point? And one thing, there was a commentator, I think, last night who actually said, harmless missiles. Every missile is harmful because it shows a disrespect to the people on the pitch. That will also then echo towards kind of the disrespect to refs at grassroots football, etc. Excuse me.
No, Tom, what a good call from you. Thank you very much. I think he's right. I watched it. De Bruyne was just smiling, having it played the way he did.
Yeah,
I
watched him walk around the inside. I watched him walk around the pitch, engage with some of what I consider to be. There was a section of Arsenal fans directly beneath me that were engaged in just making sure that the atmosphere was at it and across it, a little bit like some of the fans do at Celtic or some of the stuff we saw in the World Cup. De Bruyne did engage with them a little bit, and I'm not entirely sure that the hand gesture he gave them was the most appropriate. But notwithstanding that does not necessarily condone people throwing PETs, plastic bottles down on a footballer. It's just silly. Like the caller says, why would you want to do that? It's a world-class footballer. You know, he's a world-class footballer. Maybe they felt that because of the fact he pushed Arteta, maybe just because they were losing or whatever else. But what you do is you make that the centre of conversation rather than the fact that your team are really doing quite well and the fans as a whole are a credit to the football club.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.